The view from where we sit is gorgeous, even if we don't fit inside your little portrait. The big picture is enormous, so we don't even have to fit. We after it, true purpose, yeah, we have to get. We mastered it, reporting it live from Black Pew, discussing politics, the culture, and laughing at you. Cause you don't understand the viewpoint, don't mean you up by a few points. You just ain't hip to these new joints we on. The world says to follow they pitch, we set the tone, then we knock it over the fence. Oh yes, it's gone. Them haters screaming loud from the bench. They get the bat and try to copy technique, but they miss the point that I mentioned earlier. I see that you observing the way I strangle this beat. Oh yeah, I'm a murderer. Enough of me, let's get back to this gorgeous view. I hope that you enjoyed the show. Welcome to the Black Pew.
Everybody. Check this out. If you driving behind somebody that's slow, what do you think?
Asian. About a lot of stuff.
Asian.
Not
Exactly.
color.
Asian.
You discriminate?
I discriminate.
Yeah, we definitely discriminate. And you walk in our house, you about to
husband
hear
does
a
not.
bunch of racial everything.
I am
You know what I'm saying?
racist to the core.
Yeah, I mean we've just come
Really,
to embrace
Mark?
it.
That's why everybody's
We've come to-
racist.
yeah, we embrace it though.
You being light skinned right now. Light skinned people are the only people that try to act like they racist. I'm biracially. I ain't racist. You racist.
I think probably with the term racist, but
I
you
mean,
probably like.
I think it's the
yeah.
term.
We have some bias.
I would say that.
Some preferences.
Some bias. Well, I'll be like,
bias.
hey, why are you guys driving like that? Are you? And I'll look in the car and hope it's like an Asian or something.
Exactly.
Something like
Yeah, I know
that,
you
yeah.
racist. I got deja vu right now. That's how I know you racist, because we had this conversation in my dream. I literally looked at Trey and was like, dang, I've been here before. We literally had this conversation in my dream. I remember saying, you racist, and you only being light-skinned right now.
But you always be talking about me being light skinned, so.
I know, but
really
I'm telling you, I actually remember this dream. I actually do.
We really do.
It was about
Well, forget that
everybody's
dream.
racist. Everybody is racist, though.
A little bit.
Black Pew podcast. We got two guests back on the show. Well, actually, one of them is returning. Shout yourselves out for us, please.
Yes. What's happening? My name is Jazz Digger, but my government name would be D. Linda Wilson. And I brought my lovely wife with me.
I'm Jazz Digger's wife,
Lady Digger.
Virginia.
We got you guys on
Virginia Digger.
That's right. Hey.
That name is
Lady
Digger.
Digger. That's a good one,
That's
Lady Digger.
awesome. Lady Digger.
Who's she married to?
Lady Digger.
Oh,
The Digger. Hey, no. So, hey, you tell you something? All right, so just a little quick. At my job, they got like these little bartender classes. I didn't know that the little utensil that they use to measure the shots is called a jigger.
Oh.
And I learned that, right? But it was crazy because they're sitting there, and I'm just spectating. I'll just be watching the class, and because the chick who does the class is fine, you feel me? So I just be like, oh, I'm finna watch this class, you know? So I just be sitting on the sideline watching. And she was like, grab your jigger. And I was like, hold on, we can say that here? Like, hold on.
Oh, wow.
And they were like, oh, no. They gave me the education. I was like, it's actually used to be called a thingamajig. And that's where they got the name jigger from.
okay.
But it just made me think about that, right?
Funny.
So it's super close.
It's very close. So now I walk around talking about, hey, where my jigger at? You feel me? Like, it's I'm black. I could do it. But I told him actually that too. I said, hey, I can do this because I'm black. Nobody else can do this. I made sure I made a public service announcement at work. Nobody else can do this. It's too edgy for everybody else.
You were literally the only black person there?
One of very few.
One of very few. Most times we be like that. One of very few.
It's probably
So do
like,
you make fun of any of them for being light-skinned or
Oh
Caucasian?
no, we are very deliberate there. It's black and then everything else. It's not. I don't even think we got a light-skinned person in my department. I think about it. I
that
don't.
person that's
We
not
black,
there is very lucky.
And we are they're very specific. We cooks, and I'm a driver. So that's basically covered
You a
right
driver,
now. I'm working to change that, but you know, that's what we got right now.
With that,
Okay.
with the N-word, I was just having this conversation because a friend of mine, her daughter, she was telling her daughter about people saying it and whatnot, and when to say it, who can say it, who can't say it, and what words can be said, and why we say it, and it was all this conversation, and I'm thinking like every time that conversation comes up, I'm like, dang, we do be acting like, is it hypocritical for black people, or is it just our privilege? When we say and we tell people they can't say, is it our privilege to do that, or is it our?
I wouldn't even say it's privilege.
Or is it our right to? Which one is it? Because I was trying to balance it too. I was trying to balance it out, and I'm like, in some families you have some.
Everybody else go, because I actually got something.
Oh, I'm sure he does.
Yeah.
I'm sure he does. Here's
Marv always got something.
Now I think that it kind of goes back to when Marv was talking about how our generation is divided. You know what I'm saying? Like you have certain that believe one way, and it's kind of always a either or, right? So there's some that's like, oh, I do not believe in that, and it was derogatory, and it held our people down. Right, and then there's other who's like, yo, we took the power of that and it became ours, which would adhere to your stance of it being our right. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like,
but it wouldn't be just our right. It's like our possession now. Like that's
our possession.
That's not even a privilege. It's not a
our
privilege.
Dominance.
It does give us like our own sense of power. You know what I'm saying? Because that's literally something that we took and diminished the power. Now again, it does go on that weird scale because you put the ER on it, and it almost is like a shot to us, like they had the power. You see what I'm saying? So that's where it get the duality of the two.
But it looks to them with the A on it. It looks attractive.
Oh, of course.
It looks super
because
attractive.
it's popular.
Because it's popular. If it didn't look attractive to us, would they still consider it attractive, or would they consider just a weapon they could pull out? Because right now they have both things. It's a weapon they can pull out when
it's convenient.
It's the last thing they can say.
It's convenient. See, and here's the thing: they have the power of the duality. You see what I'm saying? Like on their end, they's like, we can go with the popular side and say it, or if we are feeling hurt or threatened, we'll go on the other side and use it as a weapon.
They've always got choices where we don't.
On our end, we have it to a point of we're on a pedestal and we allow your permission, or we can allow ourselves to be beat down by it.
Right.
So it really is a either or, and it gets weird because each person has their own decision to make of how am I going to operate out of this? Am I going to allow it from other people? And use it as a point of dominance, or am I gonna relax with it? You know what I'm saying, or allow myself to be beat down? There's so much that goes on.
Decision or choice?
Yeah. You know what? I won't even dig about it.
I think you're trying to say that, but you weren't really. I wasn't even gonna put those words on the table.
I will never use the word choice in this room.
I just got a little nugget.
My jazz
Well, why don't you tell them when you made it super? You came into our house. Here's all my little kids, and especially my son. He was 6. Dylan made it to where it looked super cool to say. Because tell him like you get on the phone with your brothers, right? Oh. And so here I have a 6-year-old son, and he's not crazy. We're full Hispanic, but he looks white. So here we are. I'm like, you cannot be doing that because he's gonna go to school and he's gonna be like, what's up? You know? I'm like, can you not? I'm gonna be called in the office. We're gonna be trying to explain it. You know, so those conversations definitely needed to happen.
They needed to happen, and here's what I did because they are all Hispanic, Latina, right? And in that regard, I said, you guys are going to hear this, and I know that in your other races of friends, they bring that to the table in a different way. Well, now you have someone who's directly in your life who is part of that history, and I can give you the lineage behind it. And when you hear me say it, because it's been put out there as if it's like a cuss word.
Right. At first he was like, whoa.
So he would hear me say it, and he'd be like, hey. It's like, you're cussing. Like, you shouldn't do that.
And then you were like, no, it's good.
And
then I'm like, no.
Then here I am with the duality. Because do I want him to acknowledge the fact that, hey, that is bad? Or do I need him to understand, hey, I can...
This is my form of affection to my siblings or to my loved ones.
So for a while, I was like... Because he was super young. Like, he was like 6 or 7 years old. So at the time, I was like, is he really going to be able to take that in if I say it? So I kept it at a point to where, no, you're right. That's a bad word.
Yes,
I said, pray for me, fam. Yes. When you hear me say that, I said, pray for me because that's not, you know what I mean? But I'm still on the phone with my brothers. I'm like, You know what I mean? How we do. So as he got older, though, when they got older, I said, you're going to hear this out there, and especially when it became all types of fodder out there, and they're being exposed to the whole cancel culture, George Floyd, Breonna, and all this stuff is happening. It's lightning speed, right? So I said, look, in our household, because I told y'all, you know what I'm saying, if when you come in there, yeah, there's biases, and we definitely get the racial thing popping in the house. I said, for that word, when you hear it, inside our household, I'll give everybody that pass. You know what I'm saying? Not the ER pass.
Right.
I said, but it only stays in this household. You don't use that word outside.
And what's crazy
there.
is
Dog the Bounty Hunter didn't have that talk. Like somebody had that talk with Dog the Bounty Hunter.
I feel that.
Yeah.
But that's the type of thing.
Pass like that expired.
Yeah.
Out them walls,
and another thing is you can't get around other black people and be like, hey, I have a.
No.
I said that pass. It's for me.
You gotta watch Rush Hour. Watch Rush Hour and see what happens.
No, you gotta apply for that
when you get out.
You gotta apply. It's like a marriage license or something like that. You gotta apply everywhere you go.
Yeah.
You gotta be recognized everywhere you go.
Well, the awesome part about their reverence for it is that they still don't use it. I gave them the pass.
No, they still don't use it. But in our house, we've taught, because there's so many different, cultures. It's like we don't get offended for anything. No. If you get offended, it's because somebody hurt that human being, not that human being that's of color. It's just in general, like you
allow them
it doesn't
to
matter what
inferior.
color. Like have some compassion for just any human being at all. So yeah, we can go like that in our household. And my oldest daughter just started dating a white guy, like white, and we had to like bring him in. We're like, just so you know. We joke around like this, no offense, but
we got a lot of white jokes.
A lot of white
jokes.
And
you might catch some.
You gotta be able to have thick skin around you.
You can be part of the family,
exactly.
but you don't get that pass.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Delivery. You might see these brown folks dropping in inbox.
That's what I'm saying. That was like,
but wait, is it? I wonder how they feel. I wonder, do they feel like
they should feel the same way we feel when we see them getting all the good jobs, when we see them getting all the good real estate, when we see them tearing up stock market. They should feel left out. Exactly.
Listen,
feel the burn. Feel the burn.
Listen, I don't give you high fives and knuckles, but I like that one right there. Yeah.
If you want to sit on the outside and be like, what can I say?
I get that,
well, why can I get this? Why can I be part of that Fortune 500? Why can't I be CEO of that Fortune 500 company? Tell me that.
No, I get that part. What I'm saying is that I wonder if they look at it like a kid, like they see everybody else being creative with something, being creative with these things, because different races, we could be on the same table. Say if everybody was a different race, we could have conversations talking about the other race and laugh about it because we know. But they would be literally sitting in the window like, hey, they can't get in this because.
Ask them how many of them drank Kool-Aid growing up.
When
chicken was like a majority part of their meal. Rice. No.
Yeah, they don't.
So this is what I'm trying to say is that there's an exclusive type of lifestyle that they've been able to live that a lot of people have been able to sit on the outside and have to watch. We're talking about the majority of our country. Yeah. So why can't they not have a moment to sit on the outside and just be like, you know what, the door's closed, and be fine with that? And see, that's the problem.
Inclusion,
entitlement.
Yep. Exactly. I feel like they can still enjoy certain. They can still sit. They can still. We let them in to sit down. They've had some of the same experiences, yes, but
turn on Certified Lover Boy. They drop M-bombs. You can listen to that all day.
They don't have
to sit in your
car,
roll the windows up, and recite the lines. But you can't join in on this party.
There's certain. I feel like there's certain things they can't participate on.
Well, they don't understand, or they should understand it. Were you there when we had the conversation where we're all laughing that if we were all in the car, my whole family with her boyfriend, and we're like, man, if we get pulled over, Dylan's out first. He's
I'm
the
the
one
first
on the
one.
I'm
the first one on the
all
pavement.
Different shades,
Yeah.
okay?
Right.
So they don't know what we are, and so and then she's like, yeah, Dylan, and then mom, and then so her boyfriend was laughing. He's like, yeah, I'd be last, huh? They probably just let me go, and you know what? That's good. You should. realize that. If you
realize your
recognize
privilege,
that,
right.
I used to tell my white friends,
props,
hey,
you know?
if we get pulled over, you talking to the police. That's just what it is.
Yes.
You talking to the police.
We had the same in my family.
Yeah.
My girls are all different shades, from light to the young,
Right.
from the oldest to the youngest is my darkest.
Yeah.
We have these same. This is why her little drawings. She has peach people, white people, brown people, black people, and some people get offended by it. I'm like, oh, I teach my kids about
Right.
our culture
Yeah.
and the different. Oh, do you really? Yeah, and my niece who
Yeah.
goes back with her white dad, and he's like, what's going
Right.
on with that? I'm like, if I'm watching her, I'm teaching her the same things I'm teaching my daughter, and she needs to understand this because she's white. She got to understand her privilege.
She does.
She's got to understand
that's
where
the
her
biggest thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
I
try
agree.
to know
That's-
don't try to feel what we feel.
Right.
Bottom
Right,
line.
you
Like,
just
don't
don't.
try to be on
Right.
the same level.
exactly.
It's
Yeah.
that part that I think is probably the biggest situation that has gone over their heads is not realizing
Yeah.
their privilege. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And think
Oh,
that they're
my
just
God.
there. And then here's the other part: they think that they're entitled to our culture.
Rachel.
And so just
what's
because
her
you had a
face?
couple people,
Yes.
co-sign something, they think your whole race is co-signed. So you guys remember the distinct division, even though we had a few white artists, we had Vanilla Ice, we had Third Base. We had Third Base, you know what I'm saying? There was a couple, we had John B, you know what I'm saying? But when Eminem came in,
It was over.
that was a wrap.
You didn't
know what I'm
recognize
saying?
nobody else.
Exactly. So it was
I
like,
started making houses.
you understand? Went to construction. That's facts, though. You know what I'm saying? So it's like once that happened, they automatically felt that was their foot in the door to our culture, to almost, I don't want to say like take it over, but to be on some, we're just like you guys.
Okay,
You know what
hold
I
on.
mean?
I'll take it. I'll take it even
Candy.
further than this. So you remember when Bubba Sparks came out, right?
Bubba Sparks, yeah.
So do you remember there used to be a TV show, and it was based off of white rappers, and it was, you could look it up. There used to be a TV show.
What
it
show
was like
was
a
that?
reality show.
What show was
I
that?
can't remember what it was. It was a reality
Stop.
show. He was the host.
Stop.
I think I know who you're talking about too.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
That's almost like exploitation.
That's great, but I bet Eminem wasn't part of it. I feel
No,
like-
no, I'm talking about Bubba Sparks. He
Yeah,
was just-
because Bubba Sparks was like what?
was the host.
Was he 97?
Some of it was like a
98?
little bit.
So it was
90,
definitely
98, 99,
yeah, because
2000, early 2000.
Timberland
homie
was-
came in 2000.
Who?
Eminem came in like 2000.
No, Eminem came in like 95, 96.
Well, I mean, not on
okay.
the scene. What's
He's
his name?
talking about,
The Slim Shady joint came out 99. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so he didn't pop until the hi, my
Until
name
the
is.
second one,
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So when that
They
my
had to
name
make him
is
quirky to
came
make him
in-
pop, yeah. Because he was a white dude, they couldn't have him come in speaking all this,
Absolutely.
hood stuff.
Yeah, because what you're talking about when he came in the game, he was on some third base. I'm
Yeah.
real
Yeah.
Mob Deep part of hip hop
Yeah.
stuff.
Because that's what
Yeah,
he-
because
a lot of
yeah,
people
you're
said that he
your
was-
Yeah.
spot.
No, yeah.
yeah,
People
you're
say-
from
'cause
there.
he's from
He's
from
from
Detroit,
the D.
yeah.
A lot
Yeah,
of
yeah,
people
yeah.
said that. Was it? You have a lot of rappers who was like, and he even says it. He was more like common, not common, sound
Conscious.
like
He was
common,
more of a conscious rapper.
Talib and all of
But they
them.
told him only for him to sell, he had to become gimmicky.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
he became gimmicky.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah.
You know.
I don't
Sometimes,
hate on
yeah.
him behind being smart and doing
No.
what makes you win, but to acknowledge it, I think that had he acknowledged right out the gate his white privilege and what
Yeah.
it was to the culture or
So,
society.
And this is what I want people to, I want to look at it from this aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Is it actually white privilege? Because I think it's harder for him in this industry because now he's a minority in this industry.
And
And so
which industry?
in the hip hop industry.
Oh, yeah.
And so it takes a lot more work, a lot more validity to gain validity, to get that title, to even erase every other white dude that was even in the
Oh,
game.
Yeah.
It took some work. So he working harder than the Rich Homie Quans and the Young
agree.
Dolphs.
I agree.
And the Young Durks. And
I
you know,
agree.
I mean, there's very few artists that have some validity that work harder than him.
I agree. Now,
And so
I
with that
agree.
being
I
said,
agree. But
I
what-
won't say that taps into his privilege because in this industry, him being white is actually a mark on his record instead of.
It's only a mark to us.
But
It's only-
but that's
it's
all
only-
that matters. But see, that's all that matters because that's who buys the record. So that's what we're talking about.
No.
No. I get it. White people are going to buy the records.
Okay.
But
just
the thing
realized
is
I
that
picked the
we're going to
wrong
make
seat.
him valid. And so we're going to validate him.
No, you're right.
And so
You're right.
we have to, like, come on, Limp Bizkit and all those, Sublime, they sold records.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in order for him to become the mogul that he is, we had to validate him. And so that takes a lot more work.
Oh no,
And
I
so
definitely agree.
that's why I
He
won't
put
say-
in
that's
the
why I won't
work.
say the privilege.
He's a beast.
Yeah.
If we're keeping it funky, have I bought any of his albums? Never.
No.
His music I feel is horrible.
No,
But
anybody else.
skill wise,
Yeah.
that's where he got his validation is
Yeah.
because he
Yeah.
has the skills.
And the fact
I
that
wouldn't
the
even say he
fact
got
that we,
skills.
No, he's no bruh.
Well, the fact that we
He has
I think-
He's
skills.
very.
He has skills.
I-
He's a student
I'ma
of
tell
the
you right
game.
now.
He's
All right,
student of the
I'm gonna tell you
game.
right now. There's an interview right now. Look it up. It's Cassidy. Cassidy's talking to Daylight, Danny Myers, a bunch of battle rap guys, and Cassidy's actually breaking down the science of writing, and he breaks down the cadence of Eminem. You won't say that after you hear that. It's so basic.
As far as what his
His
process,
writing style.
his process.
His writing style. All right, you gotta listen to it.
The only reason, you
No,
know what?
I'ma tell you
I'll
something.
give it to
I'ma tell you
Cassidy.
something.
I'll give
Listen
it to him.
Cassidy when he says
I'll
it,
give
he
it to
breaks
Cassidy,
down.
and Cassidy's a beast.
He even breaks down the song.
But
he breaks down the cadence
he's breaking
and the
down.
science
He's
of it.
breaking down a song.
No,
He's-
it's multiple songs.
or
No, it's multiple songs.
I'll even give
but he's
him
break-
that.
He's
I'll
breaking
even
down,
give him
he's
that.
breaking down the science to how he writes.
But I'll even give him that.
Yeah.
But I mean it would be someone, and I'm talking black, white, and I've heard the arguments, but I've been there from the inception,
Yeah.
and I'm sure all of us have because we're of that generation. If we had no music, we're sitting here. This man is not, being a student of the game, has studied cadences. He's studied,
Of course.
other people's flows. You know what I'm saying? And he's just good at what he does in crafting that. Now I don't know if you guys
Which is
have
why he
heard
can
this.
pump out so much, because if you know that you can break this down to the most simplest form and just be able to pump out hits. So
Yeah.
what I'm saying is
But
he's learning how to factory retail
But
hits.
see, but look at this. That's where the privilege comes in. You know what you can do, and you know who's gonna buy it. So you have
of course,
the privilege
we're
of.
not buying. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. We're not buying it.
I know, but
So
you-
what I'm trying to help
but-
you understand is that's not. He's only marketing to his own demographics. The reason why I'm saying
The
it was the harder
privilege-
work
he
is
has
because
to-
he had to have us buy in.
But
and we bought in.
but that's my point.
'Cause right
is
now
I'm
you're making an
agreeing.
argument for him.
I'm saying that he does have the privilege.
Yeah,
he can.
I think he does. I think he has.
What I'm saying is he did have to validate himself with us. We co-signed him.
Privilege comes without work.
No, but I see
No,
what
no,
you're
no.
saying.
Privilege
he's-
usually comes without work, and
No.
he had to work for it. That's why I wouldn't say privilege.
No. Here's where I guarantee it, because had he not been validated on the hip hop side, do you think Eminem would have came out, had those same bars? All of us said it was whack, and them white boys would not have still bought. And still put him.
They would have still.
Here's
They would have still
black
bought it.
black
They would have
people.
still-
Black people.
But
Black people. We
would not be
attest.
talking about him right now.
Well, we only
Just
talk
like we
about
don't
him-
talk about, just like I name drop a Sublime.
Yeah, but that's because we.
they only talk. That's what I'm
We
saying.
don't
So what I'm talking about is he's going to be valid regardless. You can call that the privilege.
That's the privilege.
That is the
No,
privilege.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying is you can call that, but at the same time, is the height that he's at is not by that, because he could still have the same work ethic. He could still have the same bars. He could do all that, and us not acknowledge him, we would not be talking about him today.
But
he
here's
is who he is
because-
based off of the work that he did.
I mean, I'm not gonna discount the work because he's, like I said, I started off saying he's a beast.
Yeah.
But I'm saying without black people co-signing, let's just say that, without black people co-signing, Eminem would have still been there, because you have white people who so badly want to tap into the black culture. They're doing Sublime and Jay-Z. But here, the black people, they don't even mess with Sublime. So the black people are only co-signing Jay-Z. So if you got white people that's doing both, they're tapping in to whoever is doing what they love the hip hop side, but now I'm only doing the white guy because I identify with him.
Just like somebody who only listens to gospel music or a country artist. Or everybody has their own genre of music that they're gonna listen. So that's why Eminem raises. Now, who do you think is between Eminem and Jay? Jay-Z was at the top of the game on the black side. Who do you think is better between Eminem and Jay?
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z, no doubt.
Okay, but white people, they identify with him. So they're going to say, even if Jay-Z is better, they're going to go with this guy. The only reason Eminem has the sales he has is because white people tapped in.
Well, but hold on.
Marketing.
But even then, with what you call privilege, his career does not, his net worth does not hold a pint of water to what Jay-Z has done. So even to what you consider privilege, he could still never even reach the pinnacle to what this black dude did in hip hop, which is why I said even for him to reach where he reached, it took worse. And why I say it's not privilege.
I said it took.
It's still not privilege.
No, but it took work. But there is a part
privilege.
of it.
Privilege would say that he has more of a reach. He has more validation. He has than other his counterparts in the same industry.
But
he does not.
You can say a part of it is privilege because
Because I agree to disagree. Let's move on.
You can say a
Yeah,
part
let's
of it.
move on. I agree.
You can say a part of it is
I agree to
privilege.
disagree.
Move on.
Wait,
No, it's all
I
good.
just
It's all
want to
good.
know.
I agree
That part of it is
that
because of how he was marketed, regardless of if he was the best or like take for instance, like if Vanilla Ice had kept rhyming, say he had
Afro Man was a Crip. Afro Man was a Crip. He could have came out sea-walking, doing all that. And guess what he came out with? Gimmicky. Guess I got high. He blew up off of that. He didn't have to drop another song. So what I'm saying is you can't say that there's only a white dude because they could market him like that. We market a black Crip with an afro like that.
They're still marketing
You lied, Mark.
Eminem.
that you said you lost your voice.
Man.
Yeah, they're still marketing.
I agree to disagree.
Eminem.
Next topic.
There you go.
Next topic.
Hey, well, how are you going to cancel us like that, though?
I made a valid
like that, bro?
I
made a
respect
valid
the point.
point.
We can move on.
Whatever y'all
I
just said, I
respect
just debunked that right there.
No, you did not. You debunked
You named one white guy that
know
was a
you did.
gimmicky. I named one white black dude that was a gimmicky, and the only two to really do it.
But
But
you,
Eminem
Afro-Man?
is
Come on now. That's
Eminem.
Afro-Man
That's disrespectful.
No, it's not
That's
because
disrespectful.
he came in the game on gimmick. Afro Man probably still made money off of Because I Got High to
Yeah.
this day. And guess where he make it from? Not us. The white folks. So what I'm trying to tell you is,
How you know that?
He made it from stoners. What are you talking about?
Yeah, all stoners.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
right.
I think it's too-
how many black folks you know play Because I Got High? How many black folks you know play
A
Because I
lot
Got
of
High?
people.
How many black people you know play Because I Got High?
I don't really know a lot of people
I know
that play
a
that
few of
song.
them.
Whenever they're
I don't know a lot of people that play that song.
Exactly. And guess where you gonna hear that at? Guess where you gonna hear that at? When you
bunch of-
smoking weed
with a bunch
at your
of-
white boy homie house. He gonna be like, oh, you remember the Afro Man song? Oh, Because I Got High? We're getting high right now. Let's play Because I Got High. That's how that happens,
not
okay?
the only
That's where he's
place.
making his money
It's-
from.
that's not
So
even
let's
com-
get it. Move on.
Not
Next
even-
subject.
not even
Yeah, we
not
could
even
definitely
comparable.
move on. We
He
could
got
definitely
smoked,
move
just like Sha'Carri Richards.
Not even comparable. Man, that's like bringing up a
Mark.
Mustang and they say they had a Pinto too. We had a Pinto. It's a horse.
Hey, guess what? At one point, they was one and the same.
Oh, no.
So one person stepped their game up. So guess what? Right now, Eminem's a Mustang, and guess what? Afro Man might be a Pinto, but people still buy. Oh, I don't know if they still buy Pinto. But at one point, people stopped. People buy Pinto. You need to come out with a 2022 Pinto.
No,
maybe
because
you guys
Ford
buy it.
was-
We'll buy it.
Ford made the Pinto too.
I'm just saying, if they come out with a 2022 Pinto, people might buy it. Okay, yeah, Afro Man come out with it Because I Got High remix where everybody on it. You got Styles P and everybody else on it. They copping that. Say they not.
Nobody is copping that.
Oh, what? After the locks fire from the verses, you crazy. Anything that ain't touching this
anyway.
we listen to the
In
Donda,
any
and I don't even
business,
like Donda.
though.
I didn't even like the Donda
Anyway,
album.
horrible. It was terrible.
as far as
Worst thing I've- yeah.
I had a question for you guys. Everybody can answer it though. I was talking.
I'm not answering.
I was talking about Marv about this, and I was talking about like marriage and defending your partner.
Woo! I'm answering.
Well, defending your partner like online, because I had a situation where this dude I know both of them for a while.
Trey's a bad setup guy.
And
He sets the story up bad. You can be straight to the point.
and they have become conservative in their posting.
Okay.
And so how I am, I just will say something, but I'll put a response, and I'm not gonna like kill you on the post. But I'm gonna say something, just like other people.
No, you're
Put it
not
this
just
way.
like other people.
Let me simplify.
Just
this
don't
for
put
you.
yourself
Let me
on other people.
simplify
No,
this-
don't
Let
put
me
that. Don't
simplify
do
this
that.
for you.
Okay.
Dig.
Okay. You
Don't
got
do
it.
that.
You know Trey.
Yes.
Not very excited person all the time. We've seen how I had him with the vaccine.
Oh, yeah.
That was entertainment
Yeah.
for you.
Yes, it
you know?
was.
Right.
It was.
He is only that live on
So
Facebook.
we gonna break down.
That's about
we
it.
gonna bring a scenario to the table.
Okay.
Say your wife becomes very right wing or whatever.
Okay.
Starts talking very political on Facebook.
Okay.
Trey disagrees.
Okay.
He's a left guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they get into a debate on classy debate.
Okay.
No disrespectful on his side.
Okay.
He starts making points. She starts getting out of bounds, but he's still making points. At what point do you come in, and what part do you play? Do you play that I need to diffuse by getting at Trey and making sure he stay in line, or do you go to your wife and say, "Hey, maybe we should approach this differently,"
Or do you say,
or do you just leave? Or you just fall back?
because also caveat, it's on your post too.
Oh, it's on my post.
It's on your
Oh,
post.
yeah. I
And
forgot that part.
you guys are doing this
Yeah.
on my post.
Yeah.
It's on your
Oh.
post.
I know what
Yeah.
he would do.
That's good.
What would he do, Virginia?
Delete
What
the
would
post.
he do?
delete the post.
That's what I would do.
What happened? Hey, what happened?
That's
What
what I
happened?
I don't think so. I think he'd go to
That's my
Virginia.
answer. I delete it. As soon as I see it, post gone. Y'all do that somewhere else. You feel me? Post
ain't
gone.
even-
Do that
we ain't
somewhere
even
else.
about
You
to
get ready
travel down that
reply.
road.
Something happened to this page. You're going to get that little triangle. That's what's going to happen.
What would
So
you think?
I know Dylan will defend me till all the end. So if until he'd be cool with it, until maybe I'd be like, "Did you see your friend?" You know, maybe then. But Dylan will be. He knows I can hold my own. But the only thing he would do, unless it got super disrespectful, he would be like, "Yo, that's my wife."
Yeah.
Laughing emoji, like you
whoa,
know,
whoa,
like
yeah, like fall
that-
back, like
Yeah.
Plot twist.
relax.
yeah,
Yeah.
He's being very respectful in the debate.
Mm-hmm.
You get a little boy, you start calling him stupid, imbecile, idiot, stuff like that.
He'd
because-
say, "Are you drunk?"
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What is your response
Good
to
call.
the situation?
Good
Because
call.
see, the thing is what we're acknowledging is that this is still your wife.
Right.
So, like,
And I like that. And I like that.
Right or wrong?
Because that is key. That is key in what happens in these relationships and your interaction that can break down friendships and
Exactly.
kill 'em,
Right.
and kill
So
'em.
do you-
And that's
So-
why- and that's
Do
why
you
we're
call
talking about
Virginia
this
out?
right now is because the way that this can handled can affect a friendship, or it can
100%.
affect a marriage.
Absolutely.
You know?
Either or. And I think
Absolutely.
that's what happens these days.
Yes.
The wrong decision is
Absolutely.
made.
Well,
Yeah.
I won one
Wrong
time.
choice.
I think choice.
Oh Lord, Jesus.
One thing, I think too many people make too many choices off Facebook. Hey, that's one thing.
Yes.
Too many people make
Facts.
choices off Facebook.
Facts.
Social media is a virtual reality. Let's be real. It's the highlights of everybody's life or the low lows of everybody's life. Nobody's really showing no happy mediums. You know, you either want people to applaud you or to be sad for you. That's what social media is for. Let's be real. And so people, we get into heavy debates on social media all the time. That's what it's become. It's
Right.
this is my opinion. Take it or leave it. And if you don't like it, F you. And that's pretty much how we've gotten.
So what would you actually do?
much.
So if
Dylan?
I did go crazy
Disrespectful, right?
If she-
on your friend,
But let's do it both ways. Let's have you answer first for the flip of it.
If it was him
If it was him
going crazy on his female
and
friend,
it was somebody, it was a female.
And it was your
we're
friend.
kind of the same. I'd
Yeah,
be like,
I mean, but
I'd be like, babe, like you asked for it. I told you to stop. Like, hey, you asked for it. Like, you know, he's a grown man. Like, you know, if you're gonna come crying about it and not want me to be friends with her, I mean, that's some, you know, insecure stuff. But But yeah, I'd be like, I would actually, if I saw it heading a certain direction, which you do see it heading a certain direction, I'd be like, babe. Like, she's going to get, because you know your friends, right?
Definitely.
You know your friends. So if it was my friend, I'd be like, babe, you know she's going to lose it, you know? Or vice versa. You would know your friend, and you'd be like, oh, you pissed him off. And so you would warn. But if we're grown, we make a choice. But he would never be like, stop doing that. You know, he'd be like, you're an adult. Like,
I know you are.
if you're gonna in our house too, with all different ages, if you're gonna give it, you better be able to take it.
Yeah, and that's
bottom line.
And that's just it. And I think that in a situation with people you love, right, it's detrimental for you to show your love by checking them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
we don't believe correction is a form of love.
But that's my point. You know,
that's a part of boundaries.
But
absolutely.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
but there's also a way to do it.
I'll tell you what we wouldn't do.
Approach.
We wouldn't interject ourselves unless he did the funny emoji thing like that. We would definitely not like put ourselves into that conversation.
The only time,
maybe out of the conversation.
The only
like
time that
home,
would ever happen.
Never do it.
The only time that would ever happen is if the male friend was disrespectful to my wife.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Disrespect is never ever allowed. I don't care if you guys are having a debate and all of that stuff, because like she was saying, she's grown. Now, if my wife is getting crazy talking out the side of her mouth, I'd be like, babe, you gotta fall back. Like, that's a bit like you're coming out of character, and I don't want you perceived as that. Like,
and
this is off of Facebook, off my post. I'm
off
telling
of it,
her
right.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna respond to her.
Yeah, we don't do. You don't do correction. You don't do public correction.
Exactly.
And that's where
I've
we
seen
got
people do that.
Like
public husband and wife on
Yeah.
each other.
It's humiliating.
I'm like, why are you gonna type that?
Yeah.
So everybody
Right,
else sees what
I
you're
agree.
typing to her.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
Forget seeing it in Facebook. I done seen it in real life.
Oh my gosh, that's
the
terrible.
worst thing ever seen.
That is
somebody
terrible.
checking their spouse in
Yeah.
public.
In public. Yeah, you don't do that.
And then
you don't do
wonder,
that.
I wonder what home is like.
Yeah, I know.
You
I
checking
know.
like,
I know.
hey,
So it's like
somebody
it's like
catching that Mike Tyson.
after saying that, if she chooses to continue that, then yeah, I'm seeing it, and then I'm only at this point watching for the disrespect.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the only time I would interject. But outside of that, you know, and plus I don't see her really doing the whole name calling thing. You know what I'm saying? She has class. You know what I'm saying? Like, grown woman. Yeah. She's not gonna go that
You know,
far.
and if
so
I was
trust
really
that.
worried about my friend, and really worried about my friend, I'd probably text him like, "Sorry, my husband's losing his mind." But you know what I'm saying, because you don't want to lose friends over spouse stuff. You know,
Or
you don't know how
silly
long
things.
you've had
Silly
those
conversations.
friends.
Yeah,
Yeah,
silly,
you
yeah.
know. So I would probably text a
Disagreements.
friend off Facebook and say, "I'm sorry, Dion's tired."
I would tell my husband or my friend trying to debate with my friend. You know my husband.
Right,
Yeah, like, what
If
are
you
doing?
can't take the debate, get the
exactly,
Yeah.
period.
exactly.
But
Because
Yeah.
obviously, if you're my
But
friend,
what
you know
about
my
those
spouse.
situations though, where they may not know them as well?
So this
You
what I'm
got
saying?
yourself in a pickle.
Yeah.
Because I won't
like
debate
your
with
friends,
my husband.
your friends, more the hybrid of friend and acquaintance, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know you on an intimate,
Right.
but you're my people's
Definitely.
still.
Definitely.
Well, now you're
And then-
learning. It's
yeah,
a
but that's
lesson
what I'm
learned.
saying. So it's like
Yeah.
now you're just kind of watchful for it.
Yeah.
I actually had a situation where that happened, but it was with a family member, like a sibling of mine, and it was on my post, and they're going back and forth on my post because they have beef with each other. You see what I'm saying? And so it's like, am I going to interject
Nope,
on my
delete.
beef? So that's exactly what happened. So it was my sister and somebody else. And on my post, she's getting
Yeah.
live with, you know what I'm saying, with my men, but they got beef with each other. So I was just like, okay,
Take your opinion somewhere else.
my whole that post is deleted. You know what I'm saying? And it's just gone because
Why? I leave them up there.
I mean, 'cause-
if you want to humiliate yourself on social media,
I think there's
have
a,
at
there's
it.
a point where, and I've never gotten to this point.
it'd be different if it
where-
wasn't my
where-
post. If
yeah,
it wasn't my
right,
post,
right, right.
then you would
I
just
let it
get the
play out.
popcorn and
No,
watch.
yeah.
You may not know that it's gotten to that point.
Trey's like,
You may not know that it's gotten to that
He's
point.
like, oh, that's just me.
But
That's
but
just me.
Trey live in a parallel universe. There's the real life Trey, and then there's Facebook Trey.
Yeah, right.
And
hilarious.
Facebook
Yes.
Trey be
Facebook,
killing it.
hey,
That's
Facebook
funny.
Trey is killing
Gangsta.
it. He be
I've seen-
Facebook Trey be
Right.
Facebook
Everybody
Trey is
says
gangster
this-
for real.
Everybody says this, and I don't know what y'all are talking about.
He just is oblivious to reality.
not
on
oblivious to it.
He's oblivious
No,
on
this is real life
Facebook.
Trey.
real life Trey.
doesn't acknowledge any of that.
I don't know.
I'm saying
doesn't
on
know what you're talking about. Real
Right.
life Trey don't even know
the
who they do on
Facebook
Facebook.
Trey.
I usually would be doing it in a space like with the argument with the dude's wife.
Oh, yeah.
I was on the toilet.
Oh my God.
I'm literally
That's the best.
I'm literally just doing stuff.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't
responding.
care.
I'm like, this is just space.
It's toilet comment.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
this is
The way he
space. This is
does.
space fillers to me.
Uh-huh.
And so I think people like Marv said, people take those things way too far.
Yeah, or
And then
serious.
or serious. And I
can't even
felt-
post on social network. I post on social
Well,
network.
here's a question,
Everybody
though.
feel like the sky is falling down.
Here's a question.
Whatever.
No,
You got-
That's
real.
not true, Mark.
I'm
Like,
that
you
guy,
go
no,
super
I'm
hard.
that guy.
Do you go super hard on them though? You
No,
go
he
super
doesn't.
No.
He doesn't go hard on him. He just posts a lot of sarcastic things or things that make you really think. Like,
But if
really
people
though?
like,
You know what I
they
mean?
feel
But
like
not.
something's going on with me because I post something. I'm like, no, I just be thinking about
That's
stuff.
just
I just wanna, that's what fake. I think that's what it was
I thought
for,
that's what
you
this
know,
was
something
about.
comes to my mind, I just be like,
Shoot, if you want to go on social media, at least get your intellect
That's
on.
funny.
You know?
Well,
Well,
I made a post saying I feel like dope boys and rappers ruin relationships in the black community, right? I felt like that,
That's
right?
good.
And I had to take it down.
Why?
Because
Oh,
immediately.
everybody attacked you?
I wasn't even getting Facebook comments. I was getting text messages and
Oh,
phone calls
snap.
and like inboxes. Like, hold on. Like,
I didn't get
do
to
y'all
see that
really-
one.
Do y'all really understand like what I said? Because if you think about it, like majority of the people who are trying to be rappers, there's some people who rap and they have jobs. You feel me? And there's some people who say, I'm finna quit my job, I ain't got no money, and I'm finna be a rapper. Or I'm finna be a dope boy, I'm not finna get a job, I'm finna go in and out of jail. You feel me? And
They had a choice.
no,
Facts.
but women choose.
Facts.
Women had a choice too, and then they choose these men.
Yeah.
right.
True.
And, then they deal with the
then
consequences of choosing
they
these
complain
men.
about
Right,
these men.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And then a guy like me comes along, and you treat me the way you should have treated that man.
Yeah.
True. You should have been
Trauma.
skeptical. You should have been skeptical.
Trauma.
You should have
You know,
been
Yeah.
analytical.
I had to deal with your trauma,
Right.
But I'm nowhere close to what that man was.
Well, that's because she
I
lacked.
treat you like a queen.
There
but
was
you
a-
can't
a-
treat me like the king that you treated that.
But
man
that's
was.
because there was a lack of
Yeah, and that's
position
not
there.
fair.
Right after that,
But that's why I made that post,
that
most of the
relationship-
people who hate
Hey
was-
man, you
was
should have
like,
kept that up. That's good. That's actually really good. And it's, you know what? You know why? You got attacked because they didn't want to hear it.
It was the
And
people.
that
It was
truth
the people.
is
It was the
truth.
people who were babies' moms.
Yeah.
And the babies' dads that were rappers.
Nobody-
and drug
they
dealers
hate
and
being
the
penalized
babies'
for the
moms.
choices that they
but
made
I know them, so
and it being
that's
brought
why
back.
it was my take because
Yeah.
I know them.
Yeah.
And I see this.
Well, what's
It's-
funny is they start complaining. You have to see this all the time on Facebook. Complain about my life. Complain about my life. Then you tell them what's real in their life, and then
Right.
they're like, "Don't tell me."
Don't tell me
But
about
you've
my
been
life.
telling everybody.
telling me
But
that.
You
telling
been
me?
telling
right,
everybody.
right.
That's
Like,
the
I
best.
seen a woman.
I'm so lonely.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, why don't you go outside and meet somebody?
There.
Well, why are you telling me to go outside? I don't want to go outside. I like being in the house. It's COVID out there.
man.
Shut up. Buy a dog.
Well, you see a lot of
A
people.
parrot.
You see a lot of people, male and female, will talk about. They'll talk about the opposite sex who they'll say, "Oh, they're not ready for a relationship," or "They treat me so bad,"
And don't be ready, they so.
and then they're not ready themselves, and it's like, wait,
That's why I said they skipped a whole
That's
thing.
why I
They-
tell people
The
always, I ain't
healing
ready.
process.
like yeah,
I ain't been ready for 36 years.
Yo,
okay?
that's true.
I think you're
It's
ready
because they skipped the
I
healing
do
process.
too. I do too.
Don't do
I
that
did.
to me.
Hey, no.
Hey,
I'm gonna
cut
tell.
the tape.
Hey,
Cut the tape.
Hey, you know what? And I'm
We said it here.
gonna
We
say,
said it
you guys
here.
heard it here, Black Pew Crew. You know what I'm saying?
the
On this
tape.
day, here's the reason why I say that, because as we were discussing earlier, that kind of honesty is missing in relationships today. And we said that if there were more who laid it all out on the table,
Yeah.
because that was one of our topics. We was like, okay, I forget what we called it, but it was about putting everything on the table right out the gate. Nobody does that because they always want to put their best foot forward, right?
Yeah, people are scared-
That
people are
whole
scared for you to
behind
say
that
no.
whole behind the curtain thing,
Yeah.
they don't want to put that out there yet.
Yeah.
But think about this, if you knew
It
right
was
out the
being
gate what was
brutally
going
honest.
on
It
the
was being
table
just
right then and
brutally
there,
honest.
you could make whatever decision
Yeah.
that was going to be best for you. You're not going to find out a year into it. Like I didn't even know you
That's
was
what my
like
husband
this.
says
You know what
too.
I'm saying? Like
Brutal
and you know
honesty,
what's
raw,
real- what's funny
being
is-
raw.
is
So,
that-
it was honesty bombs.
Honesty
So
bombs, that's what
before
it was
you
called.
get married, or if you're even just dating, because let's not waste a life like a whole year on you, right? So let's just sit down. I guess this was kind of like
It was
a
for-
popular thing after COVID. Like I'm
COVID
not
hit.
gonna waste any more time with people. So you know what? First date, second date, I'm gonna honesty bomb you. I want kids. I don't want, you know what I'm saying? I want a wife that works. I want whatever it is. Like, you don't like it, let's just move forward.
Yeah.
Why, you
Like,
know?
and then you make the
Right.
I think
decision
that is
right
like
there.
the
No.
smartest
So-
thing to ever
That
do.
is.
I had this realization as somebody who, dates. You feel me? I ain't a player. I just crush a lot like Fat Joe, And,
Well, he's a professional dater, so
and so
y'all
I have
are.
realized that, I was only dating based off of my initial attraction.
Right.
And so, and then, later on down the road, you just realize, I really don't like this person. Can't stand this person. I can't even, they're not even attractive to me no more. Like people
Right.
don't realize that the attraction value, the shock value of attraction can change over time
You
with
learn
a
who
person
they
as well.
are, they're not
exactly,
very
no longer
attractive.
attractive. And so I got to this point to where it was like, am I shielding myself because I don't want to be rejected? And so I looked at it just from a man's point of view, that from a woman's point of view, I'm not saying that it's easier for her, but the pick of the litter is.
Yeah.
So she can go out. A woman right now can go outside with a trash bag and a hole in it, and at least 10 dudes gonna ask her for a phone number. This is just facts. This is the way it is,
We've had this discussion before too.
I can walk down in an Armani suit, and I might not get hollered
That's
at,
because
even though I
women-
did get hollered at today when I was at R&J Burger Joint, but I was like, hey, but
Wow.
just let her drive off. I ain't want to,
Women outnumber men, so yes, that's gonna happen. Women outnumber men.
No, it's not even that. It's that so y'all know how to conceal y'all cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. We don't, So
Who says that?
How many times have you been around a woman and didn't even know she liked you, but she was crazy about you?
Yeah.
And then you find out and you're like, what?
I find out
Really?
here's what's crazy. Other women,
Don't play that.
other
Kid,
wi-
you know
other
just as well.
women
Come on,
know,
man.
yeah.
I ain't
They
stupid.
know it.
I
They
didn't
have
know
it.
when you don't.
Yeah.
You be like, go feel it. You be like, nah, you tripping.
Yeah, exactly.
tripping.
exactly.
I
And they
know,
call
I-
us naive, and then they
Yeah,
say,
yeah. Oh, no,
you're
you
naive.
tripping.
And I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
I
she
think
showed
it's
me
opposite.
no signs.
I get the opposite of my marriage. My husband says that thing about me, and I'm like, what? I'm
What, that you're
oblivious to it.
naive?
But my husband has like some type of, I don't know. He can
I keep telling you,
see
you
the
don't-
future or something.
I keep
Like
telling you, sometimes
he
you're one
likes
of
you.
one.
He likes you, kid. And I'm like, how do you see that? We were just having a conversation.
And I'm more like,
I don't
they're
do
checking
that.
me out. Did you see this, honey?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I saw it.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, I'm
see-
not,
Well,
you
well, see,
know,
because
I feel like
she's
he's more
cheated.
I'm like your
naive.
husband.
Yeah.
Because I would be, especially when I was with my baby's mom,
Uh-huh.
I'd be out, dude looking at her.
Yeah.
I'd be like, hey, what's up, pimp? Shoot your shot. Shoot your shot.
Oh, well, he doesn't say anything to
No,
the
but
people.
see-
He'll say something to me.
No, for me, I was that confident. I'm that confident.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, my husband
Go
is
ahead.
confident
I'm
and
gonna tell you, you gonna stare at her. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm gonna step to the side.
I mean,
to
he
the
won't
side.
embarrass me like that, but he will say something to me and be
No,
like,
it's the principle. Because see, I want you to understand is that the only reason I'm with her is because I don't feel you can take her from me.
Right,
and
right.
if you can take her from me, she can go on here with you.
Right,
But
she
I
ain't mine to
want you
begin with,
I
right.
want you to know that.
Right.
I'm not that insecure. So I want you to know, if you want her, you can have her. Because if it's that easy, she can go.
Facts.
And that's that. And
Facts.
so that's the problem with people. Is I want to hold on tight to what I got.
True.
Why you so scared?
right, right.
Why you holding on tight? You only hold on tight to things you're fearful of letting
Let it
go.
go.
of
Right,
losing.
right.
Yeah.
Don't be trying to be a light-skinned person. 'cause-
Always
But
a
it's
light
real
skin
talk.
joke. Yeah.
It's real talk. And so, like, I had girls didn't like this about me. Cause I walk down the street. I ain't even own a car. I'm walking down the street with my girlfriend, holding her hand. Dude pull up on the side of us in the car. Hey, girl, I'm like, hey, you cute. You feel me?
You know what's funny is we just had a conversation about that because Dylan will check them. Like, You know, and
Like, hey.
I'm mad at you,
sometimes
though. My
I
wife,
don't
so-
realize. Sometimes I'm not
only
I'm not paying
when
attention to it.
disrespect happens.
But he
I mean, do
does.
what you gonna do,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I want you to see her and be like, oh yeah, she's dope,
Yeah.
Yeah.
she's hot,
Right.
and then
That's why
and I'll allow you,
You
to
think the same way about
yeah,
it?
I'll exactly. That's why I'm with her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm like, not only that,
But don't holler at her
but
like
yeah,
that. Like
don't-
if they
don't
would have
be
done that out of the car, oh my God, it would have
Yeah.
been a whole. I would have been like, baby. Like he's like, no. Like,
Well,
do they not see
because
you
I'm
with
the- I'm
me?
the opposite.
That's
No.
that's
The
my thing.
disrespect, the
Yeah,
disrespect, right?
Because I feel like this. If I don't know you, you know what I'm saying, and I see you with your lady, if I'm trying to holler at your lady and take her from you, then I'm automatically dismissing you as a man, and I don't even know
Right.
you.
Well,
And
that's like
not,
when-
and that's not cool to you because I'm no better than you. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
So for me to even approach,
But we've
yours-
we have conditioned people to act that way.
no, you're right.
And
you're
so
right.
if that be the case,
You're right.
it's my job to bring you back down to reality.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so guess
I feel,
what?
I feel you.
Go
And-
ahead.
but yeah.
Do what you do, partner.
Bang,
if you
bang,
that
bang.
confident,
And that's how I just
I
feel
want
like
you to
you
you feeling your oats?
Yeah, yeah,
Make
yeah.
oatmeal. You feel me?
But you have people who are the person of the object of attraction will sometimes be like, well, dang, why don't you defend me or
Right.
or
Why aren't you a little jealous?
why
Like,
aren't
don't
a
you
little
have
jealous?
that?
Yeah,
You know.
exactly. And I think there's two parts to that.
See the thing? Yeah, but
Yeah.
my
So
thing
so
is,
what
I
if you
can't be
really
good.
liked
I
a
can't
girl?
be good. I can't be good for you if I'm not secure with who I am. And so
That's right.
that is me showing my security in who I am. You think I'm not defending you? Because guess what? He ain't finna touch
Well, I
you.
don't- like,
He
we
ain't
don't
finna
need
he ain't
defending.
finna disrespect you. But what I want,
Right.
I want you and the world to know that you're mine. He needs to know that you're mine. And sometimes if I become overprotective of you, I don't give the world the chance to experience that you're mine. And so when you think about, you get a dog. You get a dog, you put a dog in a cage, you leave it in the cage. As soon as you open that cage, what that dog gonna do? It's running
Yeah.
for joy, for
Right,
freedom,
right.
for everything. You can suffocate a person like that. Because what they may look at as protection as one day, they may look at as overbearing at the next. So for me,
Maybe,
it's for me, it's not about establishing a false insecurity. 'Cause see, I could defend your honor and get my ass whooped. But at the same time, I can show him that regardless of what you gonna do, she ain't leaving here, and I'm still with her.
Right.
And if you are, and if y'all feeling froggy, y'all both can leave, and I'll go find the next one.
Right.
You know, and,
Yeah,
'cause that's
yeah.
how it works.
And I also
Because we
think
can't be-
though,
we
I
can't-
also feel though that it depends on who you're with.
Yeah.
True.
Because
it really does. Yeah.
you won't even have to
Question
to
any of
do
that
that,
if you
you
were
know what
with
I'm saying?
somebody
Like
who
you
respected that love.
personally.
Right.
And man, I don't know, man. I feel like this is a divine appointment. We gonna get you. You gonna get in a relationship, and it's gonna be your whole world. You know what I'm saying?
changing my phone. I'm changing my phone number.
Hey, you know what's crazy?
I'm moving to a
Hey,
monastery.
Because I feel
Cutting
like
off the dress.
I feel
I'm
like
going-
you
I'm
are
going
going.
Trey.
I feel like you are going to be an amazing husband.
I think
You know what I'm
so.
saying? Like because
I
it's a
believe-
whole
I-
different.
I,
It's a
like,
whole different.
Completely hear what he's saying because that's
Yeah.
kind of how you are. But then when you find your one, like
Yeah.
then it gets to a point where like you were just a girl then. I'm getting to know you. That's cool. But when you bonded with that person, like that feeling automatically, you don't have to make that choice. He hollers at her, you know what I'm saying, and he's with you. That automatically comes. You don't need to try to do it. You're like whoa. You know what I'm saying? But that's only when you've already like invested
I still feel
into
like
that
Yeah.
person.
Right.
If I see you, and it's just me. I feel like if it's only if I catch you. Like if I see
Right.
you, and it's because I feel like, man, I do it too. I'm a man. I'll be snaps, and I'll be looking. You know,
All of that is natural.
that's natural.
Yeah, it is.
And so what I'm saying is, if I catch, so I understand the catching of an eye.
Right.
Now when you lingering, it's like okay,
That's-
Right.
Trey,
Now you
You're
lingering,
right.
Has something
That-
caught your
Alright,
eye?
So check this out.
You're
literally
right.
Lingering, obviously you got something to say.
Right.
It's in there.
Say-
It's
That's
in
what
there.
I'm
See?
saying. That's all we're saying. It's there. It's there. It's cool though.
I'm just a regular
It's cool.
man.
And I know
That's
it.
it.
I know it. You're just
If you keep
discovering
yelling-
who you are.
Just
You're
out.
just
I
discovering.
didn't name my baby's mother. I was like, just with her. Okay.
Hey, but you know what's crazy is
That
that
just wasn't
is
your
that
match.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
Not every person
I chose
can.
not
What
to
have
marry.
I
I
told-
chose not to
It was a
marry.
choice.
Dylan, this is what. Hey, haven't I been telling you this whole time?
Yeah.
This whole time I've known him, I said somebody is going to appreciate that truth from
Absolutely.
me.
Yes, yes.
That
Absolutely.
rawness.
And you know what? And
I'm
here's the thing,
telling
because
him.
you actually tapped into it. Unfortunately, right now, the
got me
only
in an Ike and
ones.
Tina situation.
The,
No, I'm
No, I'm
serious.
saying that's what I'm saying. Like, unfortunately, right now, the main ones who are into that happen to be the older women.
Yeah.
So you're trying to get that hybrid,
That balance.
of the ones who appeal to your eye,
Yeah.
but appeal to your
my
intellect.
mind.
You know
Right.
what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
at the same time.
And it's out there. It's
know.
there. But it's just that
It
it
take-
just
Yeah,
you know,
you need
with
a
who
woman,
you
but yeah,
dealt
you
with,
need a grown
you know what I'm saying?
woman.
Yeah.
Bottom line,
and,
yeah.
And trust me, they're out there in that regard,
They
but it's
are.
just like
That is not insecure.
yeah, that's
Yes.
That is, you know,
Yeah,
very
yeah, yeah.
strong.
That you can
That
jump up
will
and do this,
and
and,
be
they're not
that
get offended,
kind of-
and they're not crying
Right.
later.
What
on.
girl? What
No,
girl
no,
house
no.
is
will
you at?
You guys
they'll
have all
treasure
failed
Mike,
one
I'm talking to
thing.
my
they'll
friend.
treasure
One
that.
thing.
They'll treasure that. You know what I'm
That
saying?
too,
They'll treasure
But one
that.
other, just the number one thing, because no, they cannot match your personality. They need to be very good listeners.
Yeah.
Because if they
True,
don't,
true.
that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because I think also
I'm a
there's
great-
no,
I'm actually a great
no, but
listener.
at the
I'm a
same, but
different
You
guy.
may
I'm
be,
different
but
relationship.
you need to be
listen,
heard.
but you
And
need-
if not, you
need
go
somebody that'll say-
amplified.
If she hear me from the beginning, I ain't gotta talk much.
No, but you need somebody who will like, if you say 100 words, in that
She gonna say 3 back.
she might say 4 back,
Right.
Okay.
but
I'll give you the extra word.
the four will limit your will
This is my response.
well your response be, well dang, I didn't realize that.
No, mine's fine.
Your
Nah,
response
it's actually it'd be longer than that. Probably about the first one would be
Just
100
like that.
words. The second one probably be in between 25.
Because
50.
have you not noticed Marv always has something to say? It doesn't
do.
matter what it is.
I see.
But
No,
the thing
there's
is,
one time
hold
that I did
on,
not.
hold on.
There's one time that I did
Hold
not.
on,
It got
let
me
me
in the
finish.
most trouble.
He don't know how to listen, so he needs a really good listener. But also,
I rebuttal if I don't listen.
he doesn't know how to listen very well. But
With the Afro Man thing, I had to
See
listen
what I'm
to
saying?
the Afro Man thing.
so he talks about, but he has a lot of intelligence in there. So he
gotcha.
needs somebody
You know what? He
that
needs
can
a
match that
passionate
intelligence.
person
but
that's
yes.
passionate, even if it's not. They don't agree
passionate
on the
about shutting
same
up,
things.
right?
Like passionate
No.
about what they
Speaking-
believe in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like she's just as passionate as what she believes in as what you're just as passionate as what you believe
Somebody
in. And you
firm
guys
with
Right,
can kind of
exactly.
go at it and then be okay with
Somebody who's okay
With
that
that.
I'm not,
Well-
that I'm not easily swayed. That's just what
True.
it is.
That's
I'm not
right.
easily
That's
swayed.
right.
He's mostly
That's
passionate
right.
about every conversation.
Yeah.
But the thing is there's that balance.
Yeah.
He just hasn't found that yet.
passionate
You don't
about
need
I've
it.
just
debates.
always noticed
I'm
that because
passionate
he
about
has a
debates.
lot
Now,
of
so
traits
does
that my
this
husband
mean you
has.
want a yes girl? Or do you want
No.
somebody that's just
No,
all right?
Who wants somebody to walk in
Exactly.
every day? It's just like, oh yes, oh how did that? La, 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 la. Like I don't want that
Exactly. So you
perfection
need
every day.
somebody
I
that's
mean-
passionate about what she
Right.
Now,
believes
how
in.
do you guys deal with
Yes.
conflict? And how do you guys deal
I
with?
think that conflict resolution is super key. You
So
know what I mean?
we're not at your level, but we're both talkers.
Yeah, we're
like
both-
we both believe in what we believe in. You're not gonna sway me. You know, you
Yeah,
were brought up a certain way. I
We
was brought
definitely
up.
do the dance. You know what I'm saying?
You
Definitely.
guys debate.
We
Mhm.
definitely. I mean, it never crosses disrespect, and that's something that we had to establish out the gate. We have family members who talk to each other greasy, and it's horrible to hear. It hurts to hear. You know what I'm saying? And that's not even our situation. But to hear you talk to your husband like that, or to even hear you speak to your wife about,
Yeah.
in that way, that hurts.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you call yourself loving this person,
Right.
you're going to come from a place of love, even if you disagree.
Absolutely.
And so our thing is that no matter what, we never cross the line, allowing our emotions to take us to a place where we're throwing stuff,
Right.
or I'm calling you out your name, or you're demeaning me, emasculating me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like any of that
Very
stuff,
popular
which is
you-
a big
this
deal.
time.
It's a big
Yeah.
deal.
Did you remember
Yes,
what
very
Kat
popular.
and
Which is
Will
another
said?
reason why I'm solo dolo. Because you ain't finna talk to me crazy.
Again though.
Do you
again,
ever
because
actually hear me speak? I'm just kind of curious.
no, but see, I think that's a,
We
that's
already
a
know
big-
I
quiet
don't.
when everybody
I
else
don't.
does.
So-
We
so-
already
When I
know
try
I
to
don't.
speak,
And I'm
you
not
like-
to be honest enough
the
to say I don't.
the
right?
dopest part about your situation is that you not only stand strong on your principles and morals, but you have standards. And if we think about it, a lot of men
Do not.
drop them just for, And I'm not trying to be crass, but they
PSSY.
drop them for the draws.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're like, okay. And then once the draws go,
That was one of those
now
guys.
you're tapped. Now you're locked in because her standards are like, you ain't just going to get these draws and then you out.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know what
no,
I'm
you
saying?
ain't-
So now you're
you ain't
in a
locked
relationship.
in.
No, I mean, you know.
I tell you from experience, you ain't locked in.
Not, you know, but you know what I'm saying. But you know what I'm saying, though. So it's like now, so you're not the butthole or you're the jerk or whatever. You're not gonna be like, okay, like I'm rocking with you. You know what I'm saying? Now you're in a situation with somebody who is beneath your standards, and
You don't even know.
you're gonna you don't even know. Now whatever disrespect is coming your way, you're like, okay, well, I took this from her, so now I got to take that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I took that part of her,
Yeah.
and so now whatever she's giving back to me in that way, I got to take that. You see what I'm saying?
yeah.
And so, but you're coming to the table with, you ain't about to talk to me that kind of way.
No.
Like there's standards here. There's
No.
levels to this. So we're going to meet each other intellectually. We're going to meet each other, you know what I'm saying, emotionally here. Like we have to be. So that's going to eliminate a lot of these women because of your standards that you
true.
have. You see what I'm saying?
But the
Oh, yeah,
problem
and
with
even if
that
I-
is,
even if I-
Marv doesn't go nowhere. So you
mean,
can't
you know, that
find
could
that
be-
in the confinement of your home
I still
and
think-
complain about it.
Okay,
You
check
need
this
to
out.
go outside
I
of
still be
Tacoma.
outside. Like I still got to travel back and forth to work and stuff like that. People see me outside. It's
So
not-
he's gonna
I'm
find
not
somebody in
Bigfoot,
his car.
You feel me? It's not Sasquatch. You feel me? Like I do know people and stuff. I see
funny.
people.
Well-
I'm just not a huge active person outside. Believe me. You know,
How did y'all meet?
I don't want the hotline bling
Man.
is going blowing up. Okay.
I'll let my honey tell the story because
I already know.
You know what's funny is because we were talking earlier about the fantasy fairy tale, you know what I'm saying, generation, how we like things and how we expect things, and the situation with us is kind of in terms of like a modern day fairy tale. She was my first girlfriend when I was like 16 years old.
I thought he was gonna let me tell the story.
I mean, I am. I'm just saying, like,
I'm just kidding.
I said, but it circled back, and
Yeah.
here we are, and we got married.
I've
but
been in one of those situations before, but I didn't get married to the chick. But
man, see,
obviously,
Obviously.
Yeah, but
They
man,
had
go
a
ahead, go
lovely
ahead.
wedding.
Go ahead.
No,
let him-
I
let
mean-
him know.
Beautiful.
Let him know.
No, I mean, he was my first real boyfriend. Dated for a couple of years, 15, 16, but best friends first. Like, we hung out at church. We were just best friends. He's a couple of years older than me, so we're kind of in different crowds, but we just, we were super close. Started dating. I moved away a sophomore year in high school, and Dylan was 18. I was 16. And I mean, those days we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have whatever. It's just what it is. Your parents moved you away. So fast forward. I mean, I meet my ex-husband in high school. Dylan moves on. We both start families, and that's just what it is. And gosh, years later, I hadn't talked to you. I hadn't.
Yeah, it was 10 years.
Me and my ex-husband moved back up to Washington up here because I had family up here, and put my kids in school. His kids are in the same school, so we started this really crazy affair. I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say, wait a second, I've never heard that part of the story
Honey,
before.
come on, man, I got a
Everybody that's
reputation.
listening right now, everybody,
Hey, we might go viral. For
I was
this
just gonna
one.
say.
everybody that's listening right now is like, I knew it.
I wasn't even.
She made they made a PTA group. And
Quiet,
Wow.
quietest I ever been. I was, what just happened?
No, anyway, I was happy. I met his wife. He met my husband. Our kids are, it's just cool because we were best friends before, and it was so long ago.
Which was real quick key. As her being my best friend from years back, I see her at an assembly for our kids, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? With my wife now, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, oh my gosh, that was my girlfriend, you know what I'm saying? Like years ago, but we were still best friends. Now, in relationship tip.
I was about to say.
I'm about to say.
How does it play out for you?
Okay, yeah.
Because I was about to say,
You
they don't
already
play
know.
out. They don't ever
I'm
play
about
out
to say,
well. They don't play out
relationship
well.
tip. If you, as a male, have a friend, an acquaintance, a homie, anything that is of the female persuasion,
You don't acknowledge
in
that.
order,
You take that to the bank, bro.
no, in order to keep that friend, if it's that serious for you, your wife has to be friends with her
Friends,
as
right.
well. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
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 We just can't.
No.
We can't talk no more.
No.
I was on a date. I was on a date the other night.
Yeah.
And I ended up running into somebody that I had worked with before, but I couldn't remember if it was a person that I worked with before. So I'm gonna ask. I'm like, hey, didn't you work at such and such and such and such? And they was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, I remember you from. And it was like, oh yeah. And you could just tell, like, I wasn't. You could just tell. I was like, we just worked together. That was it. Nothing more than that. I mean, it was just.
If you want a date, you shouldn't even acknowledge the other person at all. You weren't at an assembly, okay?
You know what?
You were on a date.
Acknowledged everybody in Winco and Walmart, and I mean, some of them were like, "Hi, I've dated Dylan before. Good for you.
But
I don't care."
That's why it's a fairy tale. That's why it's a fairy tale because he's with you
me.
now.
You
Yeah.
know, that was before
He was
me.
dealing with somebody that wouldn't be able to deal with
I
that.
can't breathe.
Everywhere he walked around, he'd be like, "Oh, I knew her before." What you mean?
Yeah.
You knew her?
True.
That's
My
actually
husband does
facts,
that
though.
too.
That's
I just
actually
gave her
facts.
bubblegum in the third grade.
Yo, that's actually facts.
I know.
Which is why
But
it's
that's how.
key.
But you're
So-
not making that person relevant unless you make that person relevant.
Exactly. So
Very
that's why I
true.
said. Now,
Yeah.
what you to attest to what you were saying, because that's super true. You get the points for bringing it to the table.
Yes.
Yeah,
If they choose to be friends or not, that's on them.
Yeah.
But
Right.
don't say I didn't bring this to you, and this was my friend who was a female. You can't. Now I can't get no static from
True.
you.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
Because I was 100% open.
I don't know. To
I
me,
brought
it's
you.
like that. Hey, look, to
No.
me,
For what?
From my
But
player
that's
point of view,
because
it's like the perfect situation.
Hey,
Y'all
but
can be friends and all that.
No, that's
You feel
it.
me?
You know what's
Bring
funny?
the husband over
That-
to dinner dates and
Oh,
everything.
man,
and
that's-
behind the scenes.
That is 100% single man status right there. You know what
know
I'm saying?
what's
Top
funny
out
is-
there. I love it though. I love it because that's just real.
I be
That's
real.
actually
Yeah.
real. But the thing was, in order for me to be okay, you know what I'm saying, in our situation with dealing with this person who was my friend, then my wife had to be part of that. If
And
I
not just her,
exclude
her
her,
family.
yeah, absolutely.
Her husband, my husband.
I mean,
everything.
same thing.
Yeah.
So otherwise, you are cutting this off, and you're making a division,
Yep.
and now you've opened her mind up to
So many other
everything.
possibilities. That's
Y'all
right.
just doing 2 for $22s at Applebee's.
The
The
whole-
at the hotel.
The whole,
Wow.
exactly. So, and then on top of that, you're respectful. You're like, I'm not gonna be on some, hey, Virginia, we should go out for coffee.
No,
you know what I'm saying? And
ever,
you know,
ever.
never any
No,
exclusion.
so even like our interactions were always just like, hi. It was a lot of just waving, never conversations ever. I'd bump into him maybe, at the grocery store. And I always asked him too, I'm like, that's so weird. I said, you were always kind of like rushing away or whatever. And it's because we're always like flee from anything that's going to make you look bad. You know what I'm saying? Because all you need is somebody walking around the corner.
Oh,
and
I see.
Yeah.
I
That's
see
right.
D&D out of
Yeah,
Exactly. Exactly. You know what's funny?
With him.
Hey,
Her
you know-
husband wasn't
Hey,
with her.
it's funny you say that because that's exactly what they say. They're like, oh, yeah, I seen V&D at Safeway. You know what I'm saying? And they was standing in the aisle talking.
Yeah,
We don't
he was
do it,
laughing.
yeah.
She was throwing her hands up.
Right. I
And
was
that's all it
watching
takes.
him.
He touched
Wow.
her shoulder and everything. You feel me?
Like,
that's all it
like,
takes.
Helped her
I was
carry the
grabbing-
groceries to the
I
car.
was grabbing the peaches off the counter.
I wasn't even doing all that.
Yeah.
He didn't carry my bags. We just parked right next to each other.
No.
Yeah, that's real talk.
I mean, I think that was what made me like respect him even more because you really cherished my relationship. Like he cherished my relationship with my husband, my kids. I cherished his too. I was happy. Like you go have. I mean, that's where we're at in life. I
really care
loved
about
my
somebody,
husband. I
doesn't
love
he?
my kids.
Right.
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna mess that up. So little fast forward. Dylan ended up moving away. I didn't even know this happened until his wife actually, called me, and I'm like, that's rough, because I didn't want to get into the middle. Like, I didn't even call Dylan when she told me like they were separating and all this. I was like, shoot, if you're that mad at him or whatever, like, I don't. And then after that, we didn't talk for 10 years.
Yeah, it was another
10
yeah, it
years.
was
He
10
moved
years.
away, did his divorce thing with his wife, and whatever they did separation. I don't even really know. Me and his ex-wife kind of just, dwindled friendship. Not like friendships, but, we just didn't talk anymore. But never once did I, like, look for him on Facebook. To me, I'm like, man, if it was bad enough, to me, I was almost mad at him. Like, come on, man. Like, you're better than that. I know Dylan,
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, 10 years. passes, my marriage ends up, broken. And all it was, it took one, and all of us were friends from youth group, so my sister's friends with him and stuff. But I remember her like maybe a year before we actually started talking again. She said, "Did you know Dylan was sick? Did you know he was going through this stuff?" I'm like, "No, I don't have him on any social media." And that's all I ever heard from you. I separate from my husband in October of 2014, and this was the first day. Now, if you don't believe in God or however this is, like, I cherish marriage 110%. Like, I cherish that. I fought for my marriage till I couldn't fight anymore. And so I remember being so, like, at a point, like, am I going to really believe, like, I was raised Christian, parents, pastors, all this stuff. I'm like, really, God, this is what you give me, broken family. Like, I cherished my kids. I never thought this would happen. But on this one day, I was, like, praying in my kitchen because my ex actually drove up to take the kids, for a visit. And I'm like, oh, my God, this is hitting home. Like, this is horrible. Like, I'm suffering here. And I remember thinking, and I remember saying, you know what, God? I'm going to walk this out in the most godly way I can possibly. I'm not going to lose my mind. I'm not going to go crazy ex-wife on him. But I don't know how you're going to replace a best friend. Because, this guy was my best friend since high school also. Like, this is a guy I started dating since I was 17, as soon as I left, Washington. And I said, I don't know. Your word says that whatever Satan steals, you will, give me back, And I'm like, I don't know. And I really just started doubting God. So my kids left. And I'm like, this is my new life. This sucks. My sister called me at that moment. Like, I was literally praying, like, really not praying. I was, like, kind of mad. And my sister calls me. And she's like, hey, Dylan moved back. I was going to go visit him, see how he's doing. You want to come with me? And that's how this got back together. And so to that day, like, there was just, I would have never thought of, like, texting him, social media or anything. Like, I would have just been like, done. I'll never talk to Dylan again. But it was that one time that God did give me a best friend back. Right? Like, I don't know. So that's kind of how this happened. So do I give it credit to any of us? No, because we wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, we wouldn't have done it. You know what I mean? I had too much respect for her, not only as a person, as my bestie from back in the day, but her relationship, her marriage. Like, I was pushing towards them getting back together, you know what I mean? Because she was my friend first, you know what I'm saying? So I never saw that moving in that direction. The only thing that I did say was, like, I hope he's not, like, stupid enough to let you go. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I literally said, I said, if he doesn't do that, I said, I'm tossing my hat in the ring, and that's gonna be a wrap. Because after I do it, like, it's not gonna be.
Well, that's not the reason you got her. The reason you got her was the respect that you have for, like,
totally. I just told him that.
We were
You're
just
right.
talking about that. Yeah,
because
you're right.
Regardless on it, you already seen her the way you saw her.
Exactly.
But
exactly.
If she would have went, you saying I'd rather her save her marriage than to be with her. It speaks volumes to how you really feel about her.
Right.
Which is why you ended up
and
with
that's
her.
that's literally what I was telling her. I said, had I been, like, because she had a couple people shooting shots, you know what I'm saying, like, in that time frame, attempting to, and had they been the ones that was, like, at the forefront, it would have been one of those, why are you still talking to him? Why are you still, you know what I'm saying? In that mindset, you know what I'm saying? But because of who she was, she's loyal to a fault, and I know how she feels about her children, and you don't want to see the children broken in a situation that had nothing to do with them. And so I'm seeing her hurt. My whole entire life knowing her, I had never seen her broken or crying even. You know what I mean? So to see her in that place, all I ever wanted for her was to make whatever situation better for her. You know what I mean? So it just it developed from that point on, and here we are.
I was at the wedding. Hey.
Hey, get it.
You just wanted to hear the stories to say that.
Just to say that. I already knew the story.
But you wanted to tell.
I don't know if you know.
So you say that. I know you know that. But what I'm trying to say is you wanted to hear them tell a story, so you can throw that at the end.
No, I've already
That
heard
was
it,
so
I love
light-skinned.
hearing
So
it.
light-skinned.
Oh my God.
I love hearing that story.
Yo, is that your theme on this?
I guess that's what it's built
On
on.
that
Thanks,
note-
Alicia.
On that note, we're gonna get out of here. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for coming.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Yeah.
We gonna have you guys
Always.
back.
Sure
We're gonna have
thing.
another.
Marv never getting married.
Hey, no, you know what? I think we need to find somebody for Marv. I think
That's
that
you're
needs
gonna
to
be your
be.
job then. I'm
I
not
think,
taking
I think
wildin'.
that needs to be.
They're wildin'
Hey, you
right
know
now.
what's good?
I am not getting the repercussions of that.
What we're gonna do?
Absolutely
Hey,
not.
y'all need to do a Black Pew Crew challenge.
Oh, that
Who
would be
thinks
dope.
that they can meet Marv's
Yeah,
standards?
Yeah.
Straight up
She
and
need, to be
down.
able to,
Hey.
she need to be able to complete the crate challenge. So,
Yeah.
Wow.
She make it over the crate. She may got a
Crate
chance.
challenge.
She may have a
She may got a
chance.
chance to make it over the crate.
And that has nothing, no standard as to what you've been saying this whole time.
That's exactly why I
No.
said it.
It doesn't prove intelligence, beauty, nothing. Like,
Stamina.
I'm actually.
It actually
That's-
proves stupidity. So
Actually, all it proves is what I'm saying is that I don't want it to happen in the first place. So who is really gonna do it?
they will.
Milk crate challenge.
They
well,
will.
I'm gonna
I
be
ain't say that,
actually. You know
man.
what? That's a good one because whoever's crazy enough to do that is
You're
gonna be
disqualified.
crazy enough. That is absolutely true. I didn't even think about it.
If you're crazy enough to do it and you make it, you might got a chance. I ain't gonna lie. You feel me?
Just meet him by the van.
He would
Just
be
meet him by the
impressed.
van.
He would be
I would
I'm
impressed.
very impressed. A lot of people don't make it.
He gonna show up with the van and
Yeah.
the crates. They gonna
And
be
they're
like,
gonna be like,
Pull up in the
hold
van.
up, hold up.
Pull up in the van, just putting crates out. I actually have an idea. I wanted to go to an open field and just put the crates out.
and see who come.
Put it like a GoPro up and just disappear and just see what happens.
Oh no.
People will come.
Oh,
yeah, if you
gosh,
build
yeah.
it,
No,
they will
we're
come.
doing this challenge now, so
If you build it,
we
they will
out
come.
with that.
Believe it. The Field of Dreams said so.
That's so sad.
Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.